Welcome to Dave's Nanotanks. This is my update for July on the 100-gallon mixed reef tank. Now, not a lot has happened in the main display except for you'll notice there's a little more room on the sand bed. I kind of had it cluttered because I was breaking down the 55. As you'll see right here, this is how it kind of looked a week ago. So, why did I break down the 55? What happened to the deep sand bed? The short answer is I rushed it. Basically, the use of live sand, which carries a bacteria that seems to stay dormant in an oxygen-free environment, like the bag, may have stayed dormant in the oxygen-free zone of the deep sand bed. Then by introducing a large amount of macroalgae, some of which perished and released who knows what into my tank, used up the free ammonia before the bacteria had a crack at it, starving out the remaining bacteria. That, coupled with the use of mixing in Hawaiian black sand, added additional iron, and which would benefit the macroalgae, but also contained silicates that fed a bad cyano bloom that further ate up remaining nutrients and made perfect conditions for dinoflagellants. Yes, that's what we're looking at in there, dinoflagellants. So, to break it down, I took everything out. Some of it went in the main tank, and some of it went in this other tank. This is Reefing with O's sump from his Red Sea reefer. He replaced it with a different sump. He upgraded. So I removed all the baffles, and it made a really cool little rimless tank. So I just threw a little hang on the back filter and a couple of power heads, Ocean Revive light, a little stand that Billy Pipes had at Reefapalooza to hold the light, and I threw everybody in here or in the other tank, and then removed all the deep sand bed, and here's what we got now. And yes, it's a big pile of rocks. There are way too many rocks in this system, but I may or may not be doing a larger system, so having all the rocks stay fresh and cycled is important to me at this time. So I plan to move more of the softies in here, the pallies and things like that that are just in my tank that I'm pretty much taking up space that I'm not real excited about. And, you know, as I get a chance to cut them up and put them into, you know, give them out to other reefers, whatever, sell them at Reefapalooza maybe, who knows. But right now this tank's doing well, but I still do not have it hooked up to the main display. Yep, you see the Aptasia there? Yeah, that one. Yeah, we don't like Aptasia anymore, but we do love cooking it with laser beams. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with the laser, guys. A little hard to see through the glasses, but please, if you're using one, keep those glasses on, believe me. So by keeping a large refugium stocked with Chaeto, and another section also has Dragon's Breath and a mix of other things, I'm able to run a low nutrient system. Let's call it an ultra low nutrient system. I test 0 phosphates and 0 nitrates. Oh, let me show you my little blocker. This is my Billy Pipe style Corian light blocker, so I don't have to clean my skimmer out. It saves a lot of time. I suggest anybody who has the skills or materials to make something to keep the light out. But yes, by having this 0 nutrient system, I'm able to dose all these other things to feed my corals. In the wild, you know, corals aren't using nitrates and phosphates to grow. They're using more nutritious things like phytoplanktons and you know, different types of microfauna. So these are some of the things I use. You know, there's the reefroids, of course, and everybody knows about the reefroids. I also got this from Paul, Reefing Community Worldwide, and it's another powdered form of rotifers, and I do like it. You know, so I mix it up. I give them a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then, of course, the fuel. You've heard even Rico talk about fuel. He's the one who got me started on it. And then I found this Reef Plus by Seachem. And yeah, you can pretty much use either one you want. You'll see that one of them uses UG and the other one uses MG. So the difference is milligrams and micrograms, and they just play a little game with the decimal point for you. but they're almost note for note the same thing. So you save a few bucks if you go with the Seachem, and the Aquavitra stuff is more for gets you to the LFS because it's harder to find online. But that's really just my opinion. So as soon as I'm sure this tank is going to behave, I'll hook it up to my main display, and it will just be this 55 hooked up to the 100 gallon and a 40 breeder sump, and that will be it. So, but until it behaves, I am not hooking it up to my main display. But it is already drilled, so it's just a matter of moving the pipes from where they're going now under the tank to over to the main display, which is right next to it. So main display has been doing great. I mean, I get a little coralline algae growth on the sand, which I'm not real happy about, and I manually stir it. I don't believe in having a lot of sand sifters in the tank, so I just manually get in there and stir it, and it looks brand new. The coralline algae that was on the top, when it gets stirred underneath, it dies off, so it becomes white again because there's no light. So, you know, I'm just going to go through the tank. Basically, I don't see a lot of growth. I do see some things that have grown a little bit, but I just can't put my finger on it. You know what I mean? I see a lot of white tips on things that may not have been there last week or last month when I did the update. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up of everything that's going on in the fish room. Here's my little war corals and favites and favias, and I like them. They're in a very low light area, so I'm not seeing a lot of growth on them. And there's the Night Walker. I think Method always calls him the Night Walker, a Game of Thrones reference. But yeah, they kind of have grown to their limit, I think, as far as where they're placed. Because, you know, they're starting to cup over on themselves, and, you know, once they grab a hold of the rock and have a place to go, they'll continue to grow. So yeah, and I got some acros in there that are doing good. Here's that Digi Reefing Widow. I told you I'd give you a piece of that. A lot of the things are too small in my opinion to frag, but once they get there, I have plenty of digitata. Pay no attention to that dead coral. That's there for a reason, I promise. And his Monty still suffered severely from getting stung by the Hollywood stunner. But the Euphyllias are doing great. I would like to spread them out, maybe put them in a different place. I may add an island to that middle spot where I have the sand bed showing. The new tank has opened up more opportunity. And this is 3 bubble tip anemones on 1 rock. I can't remove them. I just can't. But I do have 2 in the other tank now. So this rainbow is taking over that nice green that I had. They were the same size a few weeks ago. So I guess the rainbow is going to grow taller and faster. And this whole back of the tank is still empty. Once I get these pallies out of there, I think I can put another little piece of rock and spread out some of the acros I have. The blue clove polyps are really doing well. That's my green slimer. I think I called it a Hollywood stunner last month, but you guys knew what it was. I just love that side shot. What do we call it, guys? The side boob? That's great. From that right angle, you don't even see rock. So, yeah. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.